Hey everybody, my name is Quinn Barney, and today I'll be talking to you guys about the bottom up creative design method. I'm going to jump right into it, and I hope this is informative. Okay, so the theory or the perspective. Base elements of a product are specified in great detail, then the elements are linked together to form even larger systems with no clear end as to how it should turn out. So, what does that mean? It means it's kind of like planting like a seed for a tree. You plant it at the base, and then you just kind of go along with the way that it grows. You take multiple concrete objects and ideas and put them together with like no really clear end in mind as to how it will turn out. The thing is that it's used across multiple disciplines, including like product design, psychology, computer science, and then it's also used in management. One example that they gave for like computer science was with modules for what is it, developing software and things of that nature. But the weakness in that is that good intuition is necessary to decide the functionality that is to be provided by the module from the base. So that means that you have to have somewhat of an idea as to how it could turn out, like whatever it is that you're building. And a point that I forgot to mention was that when you're building the base, like a key thing is that you build it and you take time and you put a lot of effort into building the base to ensure that something good will come from like whatever it is that you're planting. But like I said, you have to have good intuition because you can't just like plant it and then not really know where it's gonna go in any capacity. You have to have somewhat of an idea that it could turn out to be something. Otherwise, there's not really a point in doing it. You're just kind of like free flowing, just kind of like going with the flow, seeing what happens. So essentially, like I said, whoever is building the bottom must have creative intuition as to where the project might go. Next, let's see here. Building blocks, or like Legos. Building blocks are an example of bottom up design because the parts are first created, then assembled with like no regards to how the parts will work in assembly. So, an example of that is, when you have a bunch of Lego blocks, you can make like a house, but then with those same Lego blocks, you can make like a car or a person or like a time machine or whatever it is that you're making, like with your Legos. But the thing about it is, they're all made from like the same parts, the same base level parts that the creators made, but then they really allowed it up to the user to create, whatever was going to come. However, they just supplied like the base level product. An industry example of this is actually Little Bits Electronics. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before. I've heard of it. However, I have yet to experience like what they truly do. But for those of you who have not heard of it, Little Bits is an open source library of modular electronics which snap together with small magnets for prototyping and inventing. Essentially, they're like Legos, but for like science and creating, and you can Wi-Fi enable them. And I'll talk about that in a moment. They consist of small circuit boards with specific functions built to snap together with magnets without soldering, wiring, or programming, which is actually really awesome because it really makes it so that anybody can do it. They even do classes with people where they show them like kids like how to build things. Each bit has its own specific function, such as light, sound, sensors, or buttons, and there are actually millions of combinations possible in the open source library of over 60 modules, and the library is growing like every single day. Remote control coffee makers, heating, cooling systems, or other appliances. I saw that somebody had made like a remote control piggy bank. Somebody made like I said, a remote control coffee maker where they hit a button and it started making coffee from like their room or whatever. Heating, cooling systems. It can get pretty complicated, or it can get pretty base level. Where some children were making remote control cars like on their own. How's this bottom up? Like I said, it's similar to bottom up products where the parts are created with no true direction on how they will be assembled, since so much of the building process is left up to the user. So what Little Bits does, like the company itself, they make these little modules and they leave it up to the user to, kind of depict the way that it will go or dictate, I guess. But the thing is, they put so much thought and effort into the base product itself that it's bound to have something creatively awesome come from that. The history of Little Bits is that they began as a small project in 2008, and the purpose was to put the power of electronics in the hands of everyone. And it spans further than music technology, like I told you. But in 2013, they collaborated with Korg, if you don't know, that's like a keyboard company, to create the Synth Kit, allowing users to build their own synthesizers or create musical instruments. So this is the Synth Kit. It's actually really interesting. I might actually get one, but it's cool. There's like they have oscillators oscillators, filters, faders, not faders, oscillators and filters, and a couple other things. And these are a couple of synths that people have actually made with the Little Bits synth kit or whatever. That's one right there. And this is another one. I thought this one was really interesting because of those buttons. You know, you can make it as if it's like a real guitar. And now he has all the buttons on the end. And some of those are like oscillators. Some of them are filters. And they all serve like different purposes. This next one's kind of like a keyboard. I know you can't really see it like thoroughly, but you can see how she has like the buttons placed there, and it's all connected to like this little power pack on the right hand side. And it's really interesting that they actually allow people to do that. But like I said, it all starts from the bottom where they give you, you know, this base product, and it's really kind of seeing where it'll go once they plant the seed. As far as like future development, Little Biz is constantly developing new modules and concepts. I think another cool thing is that they opened up a small retail store in Soho, Manhattan in July 2015, where they allow users to build in store and leave it there. Like you can build something, or you can leave it there. But the thing is, or you can pay for your parts and like take it with you. So I think as a business model, I think bottom up definitely works in certain places, whereas in other places it might not work because, you know, if I create a product and I don't really know the way that it's going to turn out, it might not be as beneficial. However, that's why creative intuition is very, very crucial to this whole business model or this creative design model. These are my sources: top down, and then top down, bottom up design, and then I use the actual Little Bits Building Blocks website. So I hope that was informative for you all, and thank you.